Watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special, and yes, we're live. It is the 12th day of March. We were dark yesterday, but we appreciate you guys coming back today. We have tons and tons to talk about. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
We'll catch you up on all the headlines across pretty much the world. We've got the World Baseball Classic we could get into. We got some NBA news. We got some NFL news. Plus, our boy Anthony Jauregui is back from Las Vegas. He'll join us at 8 o'clock. Plus, a return of Bolt Brady at 8:30 to talk all things basketball leading up to Selection Sunday and March Madness. You can call or text in anytime throughout the show at 661-842-2000.
We got an update from the James Pierce for Kia Jackson situation as well. I'll, give you all the updates on that. But we picked a hell of a day not to have a show yesterday, obviously, with the major news coming down Tuesday afternoon that the Ravens pulled out of the Maxx Crosby trade last second. We'll explain why. I got some audio from Adam Schefter that'll explain exactly what happened. Not to mention, Ronda Rousey took a couple shots at the UFC, not necessarily at Dana White, but at UFC in general in this White House card. So we'll get to that as well.
Plus, we lose to Italy, and then we need Italy to win. It's just crazy.
That's not even the worst part about that, though, to me. The worst part about that to me is that our manager, Mark DeRosa, loved Mark DeRosa as a baseball player. Loved Mark DeRosa as a baseball player. But I'm starting to side with the McAfee boys on this one. Don't need him as a manager. Not if you don't know that you haven't punched your own freaking ticket, bud. Like, I got the audio from that as well. I know you guys have probably heard that ad nauseum in the last 24 to 48 hours, but I have to play it just solely so I could play the audio from yesterday of what he said to backtrack all of those comments. And, he's pretty much saying, I just misspoke. They actually apparently told him right afterwards, because he does have a show on MLB Network in the mornings. And some of his cohorts had texted him and said, hey, you haven't punched your ticket yet. You still you needed that win against Italy to have punched your ticket to the quarter. Now we had to sit there and wait and hope and pray that Mexico didn't win at 1-0, 2-0 game. And I'm not going to lie to you, Sparky. A good portion of me sat there and said, what's the likelihood that Mexico and Italy both look at each other and say, why don't we throw this thing? Just kick the Americans out right now. What's the difference?
And share some coffee and
exactly,
and just enjoy it.
Exactly. Wait until wait until the ninth inning to get the fourth run, and then just let Mexico win 4-3, and then USA is kicked out. Everybody gets to watch the Americans cry their way home, because at this point now we're starting to get everyone's starting to say America's doing this wrong, that we're taking this too seriously. And that this is supposed to be just a fun thing.
Yeah, my boy Cal's catching all sorts of drifters.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I get Randy Arozarena being upset. Don't get me wrong, guys. But you, people at home watching this game, really that upset Cal Raleigh didn't shake this guy's hand at the beginning of the game?
Yep.
Really? And it's not like he told him to F off. He looked at him and said, good to see you, Randy. Get in the box. And Randy said, what? He said, good to see you, Randy. Get in the box. Let's start this game up. Let's go. We're competitors today. Which, if you've played any sports in your life, that's kind of how things go. I played against my cousins, family, my entire life in football. You think I walked up to my cousin who played quarterback and I played defensive end and said, hey, cuz, good job today? No. I looked at him and said, I'm going to put you in the ground. Why? Because that's competitive nature.
Well, that makes it even better when we played family.
That's what I said. But everybody now is, this is bad for baseball. This is terrible for baseball.
Perfect for baseball.
Shut up. God,
and
man.
You guys could stop sending me the fake trades.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've gotten about 10 of them from listeners saying, you guys are trading your boy. You can blame Cal for that.
Yeah.
It's MLB Facts, not MLB Fox.
And here's the thing. If you really think Seattle gives a damn about this and are going to choose Randy Arozarena's side over Cal Raleigh,
right?
Y'all are stupider than anybody on the internet. But I know that's not the people who listen to us, because you are much smarter than that. And you listen to us, so it automatically makes you smarter than that. But when I see people go out there and just crush Cal Raleigh for this, or try to at least. Come on, dude. It's baseball. It's competitive nature. America said it coming into this. We're taking this seriously. Well, at least as serious as they could take it, because apparently they all got drunk before the last game of the pool play. Not before the game, mind you. It was the night before, obviously. That was the other audio I tried to find, but for some reason the internet has been scrubbed clean of that. Was Mark DeRosa looking at a reporter and saying, yeah, we kind of picked up the party after the Mexico game and it carried over to the hotel, and some of these guys are sluggish and dragging today. Haha. Mark, don't say that. You don't need to air the dirty laundry of the team out. I know, again, that you thought we were clinched at the time, but God, man, it is that entire. If we lost our spot yesterday to Mexico because of that kind of a blunder, oh, Mark DeRosa would never have heard the end of it. He probably would have got fired from MLB TV or MLB Network, not because he's incompetent, but more because they probably would have had a absolute slew of hate mail from people, because there are people that take this just as seriously as the American players do. And again, for some people to sit there and say that America's taking this too seriously, just wait until the actual tournament starts, when DR is showing up to your home field, kicking your ass 9-0.
Which is tomorrow, right?
Yes, but we have Canada first. America's got Canada starting tomorrow. I'm not sure who DR has first. I'm going to have to double check that one. But it's going to boil down to America against the DR, most likely in the semis, and hopefully America against Japan in the final. And we're finally going to walk away with the WBC championship, or at least that's what I hope and pray, and I've been praying for a long, long, long time. We'll get into Mark DeRosa's comments at some point. Let's start, though, with Maxx Crosby and this fallout of the Baltimore trade. We've heard from both the GM of Baltimore yesterday and many others when it comes to this. Maxx Crosby has come out and said, I'm a Raider. Love hearing that, especially if you're a Raider fan. That means hopefully he's not going anywhere. But as it sits right now, that is kind of a problem for the Raiders, because the Raiders were hoping that they can use that $30 million cap for $30 million opening in cap space to actually play a couple other players. They've done a pretty good job at first, at least. They picked up a couple corners. You still got the linebackers coming in. You got the center figured out. And Max coming back is going to help. But do you think that the Raiders still need to make some sort of a move here to continue their rebuild, or do you think Max is going to be a part of it?
No, I don't think Max will be there. I think the reports I'm hearing from Schefter this morning and some reporters out in Vegas is that they're still pushing for the trade, and it's the same thing. They're acting like they were surprised about the injury, and both sides are saying they were aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just digging deeper into it, NFL Live did the same thing last night and was saying it's not the first time the Ravens have done this.
No.
And I believe it's the third time in the last 6 years that they've pulled something like this. So yeah. I'm not too shocked. And it's funny because some people, this damn log, dude.
Technical issues. We apologize.
Yeah, it's just been playing commercial break ever since we started the show. But yeah. It's the same thing. I've heard a lot of both sides. A lot of Raider fans want, obviously, to keep Max if possible.
Naturally.
I just think that they've kind of dug that hole. I think they're going to push for 2 first-rounders. And all the people saying, oh, now this lowers the value. I don't see how it changes.
I feel it does lower the value just because he's not fully healthy as of right now. But the weird thing about this is traditionally when these trades go through, and you heard Adam Schefter say it yesterday, I'm pretty sure it's in the bite I have, which we can play here in a second, teams can push back the passing of the test, essentially. If they give you a physical and they know you're injured, they can say, you know what, he's injured right now, but in 2-3 months before the season starts, he will be good to play, so we can okay this. The Baltimore Ravens doctors sat there and said, there's some serious concerns we have that it'll last longer than 2 years. I don't know how serious Max's injury is, but if he was willing to play on it, I would assume it's not that serious that it would thwart his career 2 years down the line. But that is what essentially, or at least Baltimore is claiming, led to the decision to pull out, was that they weren't comfortable with Max's health going forward. Personally, in my personal opinion, they just looked at it, realized they lost 9 of their players, key players at that, and then said, "Oh God, that first overall pick would be really nice right now. We could get a center at the 14th spot."
We can get Hendrickson right now.
And that's the other thing, is them going out and signing Trey Hendrickson to a massive deal, a deal that Trey has deserved and wanted for a long time. But from what we understand as well is that Baltimore, in the process of pulling Trey in, convinced him that he'd be playing across from Maxx Crosby, which was one of the major driving points of getting Trey to sign to Baltimore. Not to say he wouldn't have signed in Baltimore anyway. I'm sure he's absolutely licking his chops right now, waiting to get back at the Cincinnati Bengals 2 times a year. But with the move, everybody now is saying, oh, they got cold feet and realized they could get Trey Hendrickson for pennies on the dollar. I think their plan really was to have Trey and Maxx Crosby on the same defensive line playing together. But obviously, with this whole thing falling through, they're going to get a lot of grief for this. Let's hear first from GM DaCosta. This is what he had to say, his reactions to the Crosby fallout. You don't got it in there? It should be in there.
I don't have it.
I'll have to look in there for you later. We'll play that for you after the break. That's my fault. I apologize. Mr. DaCosta pretty much said this is, it's a bad thing for the team. He also said that it hasn't really stopped the team from getting offers or getting people calling in to actually make situations happen. But at this point, it's one of those just really rough moves for a team in the NFL, because this does show a lot of bad business in a way. And like Sparky said, this isn't the first time Baltimore has done this. So a lot of teams are probably sitting there thinking, if we're going to send somebody, we better make sure that this trade is going to go through.
I mean, even looking into the other trades, Schefter was actually the one on NFL Live last night talking, and with the players, I mean, it's not big names, obviously, with like Maxx Crosby, but I mean, they did the same thing in 2018 with the receiver Ryan Grant. They were aware of the injury. Then after the physical, they canceled the trade. In 2020, they did the same thing with Michael Brockers. They had the deal officiated. They signed everything, pulled the deal. But the bigger one was when they tried to trade Jaire Alexander a few years ago, and then the official trade over to Philadelphia, he gets the trade, and then he retires a month before and never plays. So, I mean, there is some stuff you can dig into, but I personally think they're going to still try to get him. I don't think it's over.
You think Baltimore?
I think Baltimore is still pushing for it.
See, I don't think they are, especially if they were, they would have just accepted the fact that Max is injured right now and pushed the physical down the line, or at least said, it's a delayed acceptance of the physical. I can't see the Baltimore Ravens turning around and making another move for this. It just, at least maybe or even on the other side of the coin, why would the Raiders even accept a trade from them now, knowing full well that they screwed them over out of 2 first-round draft picks?
Because they spent $300 million on day one.
I understand that, but again, they still have money in the tank. They're not going to have a ton of money to use, but they still have some, and I just don't see that happening. I think that maybe Dallas or Chicago, if they can make a move for him, but even then, now you're not going to get 2 first-round draft picks. There's no way. And
the other one is New England.
I don't know. We've heard Tom Brady say there's no way, but at that point,
2 first-rounders will change a mind.
Very true. But it's going to be it's going to be a pretty good deal to get someone to get Tom Brady to turn around his entire thoughts on how this is going to work, and if they could even get Maxx Crosby over to New England. Because again, the injury situation, if it is that serious, I mean, I don't know if a lot of teams are going to be willing to take a shot on Max, because if the Baltimore Ravens are already coming out and saying we have concerns that 2 years down the line, he's going to even be on the field, that's something to really take into consideration here, because a lot of teams are going to look at that and say, well, their doctor said this. What if our doctors say the same thing? We're not going to give you future draft picks that are that coveted to get this guy over here. we're just going to find a way to make this the easiest team-friendly deal we possibly can, especially if the Raiders are married to the idea of not having him on the roster next year, as we've seen with Tua and a lot of these other guys. When you know that someone's on the trade block but has very little value in that area, and not necessarily because they're not a good player, but because teams know that they could get it at a better rate if they just wait until he gets dropped, it's just going to go that route instead. And who knows? Maybe the Raiders really are sold on this. I don't think there's a day where they actually release Maxx Crosby,
No.
but I do kind of think that after this whole thing went down, and they're probably looking at their roster right now saying, you know what? Maybe we have our leader back and we can, just build around him on the defensive side of the ball. We got him some help. We got him the linebackers he needs. We got him one of the best slot corners in the entire game. Maybe we run this back. And he seems to want to stay with the Raiders, even though he's already put up a podcast saying goodbye to the Raider Nation. I would assume he took that down by now.
Yeah, like the fan that had to shave his head and said, I'd shave my head if they ever traded Max, and then he shaves it, and then 20 minutes later they report it. But I personally think they're still going to shop him, and I would expect something to happen in the next week or so. But I mean, good for him. I hope he does stay with the Raiders. I never understood the trade in the first place.
Right. I think a lot of people were in the same boat, thinking you're sending away your heart and soul. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. But again, I think the injury is more serious than they're willing to say. And that is going to affect what you get out of this trade, no matter if it means you no longer get 2 first-round draft picks, you only get 1, if you get any at all. Because if another team doctor walks up, and we've heard from guys like Schefter who say that doctors who worked on Patrick Mahomes have also looked at Maxx Crosby's injury, and they see some light at the end of the tunnel. But there's no telling that if he does get traded to, say, Chicago's doctors look at him and say, he's actually more banged up than we thought. Maybe we should send it back too. And then you get another botched trade, and the value continues to keep going down, because now all you're showing is you don't want this guy on the team. He's most likely not going to be on your roster. And people's loyalty can only go so far. If they traded Max twice in one offseason, I think those comments of him saying, I would love to come back and end my career here, would probably go out the window as well. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know a lot of jobs or organizations that you'd be willing to work for that kicked you out twice because they don't want you, or they think that they can get something for you. I don't know a lot of people that are willing just to overlook that. You must really love a team in order to actually have that happen.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll trade in, they'll get a partner. I don't know if it'll be 2 first rounders. They'll be lucky, but I've seen reports of, taking a first and second, maybe a first and a third.
Right.
But I mean, I've seen it over the years, different team doctors, different, reactions. They're all, projecting what they expect. And if he could play this long and that, I mean, my own team, we had a chance to get Drew Brees, and our doctors said, oh, this guy's not going to be the Drew Brees that you're trading for.
Right.
And what happened? He won a Super Bowl with a different team, and, now he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I think different teams, and the opportunity for them to, can you imagine if they did get Hendrickson and Maxx Crosby originally? That would have been insane on a team that's already pretty damn stacked.
Right.
But I think there's needy teams, especially with a pass rusher like Max. And I think the Raiders have kind of dug themselves in a hole. And luckily, one thing I will back with the Raiders is they did come out and say, that we didn't hide anything. Everything was on the table. Everybody knew his injury. And in the paperwork, we told you he was expected to be back in 100% by July.
Right.
For camp. And I think it's just a fishy whole situation. I can understand both sides. I can understand the Raiders jumping on the 2 first rounders as they always wanted. And the Ravens, I wouldn't call it cold feet, but you get the opportunity to see it in person. Your doctor, the people you pay to see the medical side of it, is saying, dude, this isn't the guy you want for the future, and trade for 2 first rounders when there's plenty of talent out on the pool that we can snag. And I mean, I hope he does stay with the Raiders, but personally, I think somebody's going to step in and get the picks that the Raiders want for the future. And everyone goes their own way. I seen a couple teams come out yesterday, clear some space. I know Buffalo was one of the teams, Detroit. There's a couple teams that can go out there and still afford him, but 2 first rounders is probably a reach.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I think the value has decreased. I don't think you're going to get anywhere close to the same kind of deal you got with the Baltimore Ravens. They may not even get a first round draft pick at all, just solely because you don't know. You don't know if the meniscus is that banged up right now. And because of that, team doctors they're not just going to sign off on this guy, especially if one group of doctors have already said one thing and you're looking for the best possible outcome for your team. Now, I know a lot of teams that are willing to push this off and say he'll be healthy by the start of the season, which most of the time that's what happens. That's what, honestly, I was shocked Baltimore didn't do. But when it comes down to this, I think there's some legitimate concern now that Max's injury is much worse than we thought it was. And if that's the case, I don't know a lot of teams that are going to be willing to give up a first round draft pick for a damaged Maxx Crosby.
I would.
I'm
Shoot
sure
him.
you would. But again, we're not in the NFL front office is the issue.
Yeah, we don't know the injury.
Exactly. So we'll figure it out. We'll give you guys some updates as much as we can. But as of right now, Maxx Crosby says he's a Raider. He is a Raider. And I'm hoping and praying he doesn't go anywhere because I think Raider football will be a lot better next year with him on the field rather with him on somebody else's team. So at this point, we're just all hoping and praying that Max doesn't go anywhere and Raider Nation gets their boy back because that was the heart and soul of the team. And without him, it's going to be really rough, really, to captain this entire rebuild and try to get them back into where they want to be because that's where everything is that's the trajectory in which they're trying to get is they're trying to get back to some sort of competitive nature, which they really haven't had since the Tuck rule. Yeah, it's been that long. Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll get into this Rakia Jackson update. She put in a petition for protection against Atlanta Falcons edge rusher James Pierce and this entire situation going on between the two of them. So we'll give you an update on that. Plus, we have a ton of audio to get to. Ronda Rousey took a couple shots at the UFC yesterday, or I think it actually was Tuesday, right before her fight with Gina. And honestly, a lot of what she said was true, so I'll break it down for you on the other side as well. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m.
A big shout out to Brett. He was feeling the same way. He's like, dude, didn't that happen with the Dolphins? Yes, yes. Every reporter reminds us every year when our quarterback plays like trash. You could have had Drew Brees. You could have had Drew Brees, but instead, Jackass goes and don't even remind me. I remember. I remember.
I know. And one of your other Dolphins signed with one of the rivals yesterday too. But
Dante Culpepper. Yeah, I remember. You took Dante Culpepper over. I watched it. But yes,
I was talking about Bradley.
screw Chubb. No, I'm talking about the Breeze thing, man. We
No, I know.
didn't get Breeze. We got Culpepper, and we all know how that turned out.
Well-
but yes, Bradley Chubb, welcome to Buffalo. Good for you.
To be fair, not throwing shade at you guys, but Drew Brees without Sean Payton might not have worked out.
Well, he was supposed to be in the package.
Oh, well, see, that I didn't know.
Yep.
That I was unaware of. But, you know, horseshoes and hand grenades and all that.
Yeah, it could have, would have, should have,
Exactly.
whatever.
Life doesn't go that way, unfortunately. A couple stories we can hit real quick in the world of football before we transition here to our guests. First one, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when it first initially happened in February, but the ongoing battle between Rakia Jackson and James Pierce, the ugly, 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 ugly story for James Pierce Jr. of the Atlanta Falcons, who allegedly rammed his car into hers on February 7th. She has filed a petition for protection against James, claiming that she is in fear for her life and that if the courts don't intervene, that James will kill her. So there's got to be some sort of past history where she knows that James is a little off kilter right now. And I mean, he's set for a permanent injunction hearing at least in April or on April 21st. So we'll hear more about this in the next month. But this is just an ugly, ugly, ugly story. And I told you guys when it first came down, I fully expect James Pierce's career, at least with Atlanta, to most likely be over after this. I can't see an NFL world where they just kind of ignore this and let this kid play again. We've seen a lot of really questionable moves by the NFL over the past couple of years when it comes to intervening with outside or their everyday lives. But usually when it comes down to serious stuff like this, where people are claiming that they're in fear for their lives because a certain NFL player takes things too far. And there's also updates from this story that apparently multiple calls were made to the police before this entire thing ensued on the 7th, all of which were her calling the cops because James was trying to break into the house they used to live in, or was just, bothering her after the breakup. So the cops knew that this was a growing problem. There's a lot that's building against this kid, and it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. It sucks because, again, like we talked about when this happened, this was one of the more bright shining points of this of this rookie class, at least the defensive side. I just hate seeing a player like this lose his career, or at least have all of this happen so early in his career. I hope and pray I'm wrong and he can come back from this and show everybody that that's not who he is fully, and that he was just very, he was under some sort of mental stress when all the breakup happened. But with every increasing story that comes out about this, especially when Rakia is saying that she fears for her life, yeah, I don't know if the NFL can just ignore this. They have to step in and do something when it comes to James Pierce Jr.
I hope they do. I mean, we've seen other players get away with it multiple times. And I mean, yeah, it's so sad that this continues to happen. I understand when we first talked about that story, breakups are tough, dude. And some people don't know how to deal with them. Some people overreact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's young. I get it. Things happen. And I just hope it gets cleared up.
Yes.
And no one gets injured. No one gets hurt. No one gets, their life ruined. Luckily, it could have gotten way worse. We've seen it in other players and other stories. I just hope everything gets cleared up. And I think personally the NFL should step in. I know they're going to wait until all the legalities go through, But I mean, I personally have seen it with Dolphin players, and nothing really happens.
Right.
They settle outside of court, and we all forget about it.
Right. And that's the thing. That's what the NFL is hoping for, is that they don't have to step in, because that is the easiest option for them. But with stories like this, you have to step up, man. You have to be the one to step in and tell these guys, you can't do this. Otherwise, it's just going to become a constant problem for you every single offseason. And honestly, it has become a constant problem every single offseason.
It really is.
Like whether it's guys like Rashee Rice causing accidents on the freeway, or,
Tyreek
Hill, Ray Rice. I mean, you could look back as far
Diggs.
as you want. Yeah. And James Pierce is just unfortunately the next guy in line, but the NFL has to step up and do something about this. You're so, up in arms about protecting the shield all the time. We hear that so often, that they need to protect the shield, and yet you don't. You don't protect it from yourself. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you stepped in and if you step in and give James Pierce, what would you say? 6-game suspension, something like that, 4 to 6. Yeah. I think that puts pretty good teeth into this, because players realize if they don't play, they don't get paid.
Yep.
And that's really where you're
time for them to adopt some programs, whether it's I know the courts already do,
right?
But if they settle outside of court, maybe it is a time for the Shield to start a program, whether it's driving, or, domestic abuse, something. I mean, they've got to do something.
Yeah,
they've got to at least, show face and say, hey, we're not going to put up with this.
Having a just league-wide training day of nothing but that would actually be kind of interesting to see who all shows up to that and who decides they don't want to go.
I'd say it's mandatory if you've got these types of cases, but hey, it's the NFL. I mean, the other story, the NFL continuing to build, the one that came out yesterday is now that they're pushing for a Wednesday game before Thanksgiving.
I saw that.
And they're trying to push it for this season. So we'll have Wednesday, the pre-Thanksgiving game, then the list of Thanksgiving games, which turned into 3 games into 5 games. And now we've got a Black Friday game, and that's when the Saturday games kick off. And we'll have, 5 straight days of football.
The NFL will never be satisfied until we have a week straight of football.
Of course.
And honestly, as a football fan, 100% in, always would love to sit at home and watch a football game. But do we really need a game before Thanksgiving? Is that necessary? I mean, again, it's like
appetizer.
It's like the Christmas Day stuff. Like, let the NBA have something.
No.
Anything at all, please. No. Like, don't get me wrong. I get it. You're the king. Everybody watches the NFL, no matter what. If it's on television, most Americans are going to be watching football. But taking up the entire holiday season, I mean, they really just want to suffocate every other sports league so they don't get any viewership around that time at all. But again, it's the NFL, and we're talking about them protecting the shield and making themselves a bigger entity across the planet. This is the easiest way to do that, I guess, because everybody's going to be at home on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of Thanksgiving week. So I guess it's just another reason to sit at home and watch football.
And how does that adjust with preparation for, teams that have a Wednesday game? They have an extra day of rest for the following week, or is it going to be an international game? Or, I mean, what are they really doing?
I still like the idea that we floated the other day of let's make all Thursday night games the international ones.
Yes.
Let's just, if you have an international game, throw it on Thursday. That gives them the extra time to actually get over the jet lag. You don't necessarily have to worry about time zone. Well, I guess you do have to worry about time zones. It would be at a weird time during the day, depending on where you play.
10 a.m.
But
Thursday night morning games. Thursday morning games.
It's not like the NFL Network doesn't replay the game anyway at 5:00.
Exactly.
So why not? I mean, it would probably help with a lot of the international travel. There are probably some issues, obviously, with it, and feel free to text in and tighten us up if you can think of any. But personally, I think changing the Thursday night games to international games, that would kind of be nice to see, to be honest. Because let's all be honest, the Thursday night games have been pretty lackluster the last couple of years. Last year, it kind of picked up a little bit, but the year before that was awful. I remember coming in every single Friday, looking at everybody in this entire studio and just saying, did anybody watch the game? No.
Unless you play fantasy football, that was it.
And even then, I think most people just really paid attention to their numbers on the fantasy football
I
roster.
personally like the Thursday night games, but I'm not a fan of the 5, 6 a.m. games on Sundays. I would much rather just give him the international games.
That's kind of on, or that's
Just makes
kind of
more
just
sense.
because of West Coast time culture, though, because or time constraints, though, obviously, of why it's at 5 a.m. But you're right. I mean, I don't necessarily like waking up and seeing a game already 3/4 in and I missed all of it. But if we moved it to Thursdays, again, I don't know exactly what time zone or time frame you're going to have to shift these games to in order to actually make it work in America. But I think it would actually work out a little bit better. I really do. And you might get more eyes on the product, especially overseas, if it's middle of the week. You never know. God only knows. But the other story I wanted to bounce off you real quick, too, that has to do with sports. Sharon Moore agreed to a plea deal the other day and had 3 of his charges dropped. This is the former Michigan football head coach. He was dealing with misdemeanor charges of malicious use of a telecommunications device and trespassing as part of a plea agree. Or I'm sorry, those are the charges that he got. 3 of the other charges, home invasion and stalking and breaking and entering, have all been dropped. But Sharon Moore, at least shaking most of the major charges that he was faced with. It's a positive sign for his camp, obviously. I still don't think this guy finds a head coaching job in the NCAA, though. I really don't. I think with everything that went down, it's probably too much for colleges to ignore. He might get an assistant job, though, to be completely fair. As long as he's not the main face of the program, I think somebody's willing to take a shot on this guy because he was a pretty good coach while he was at Michigan. But I'm just happy to see this entire Sharon Moore thing is kind of wrapping itself up right now. We won't have to worry about this anymore. Michigan can move on, even though they're currently being sued by an assistant football coach for him being fired as well. But hopefully that this is just all going to wrap itself up before the beginning of the football season and we get back to just regular Wolverines football. I know everybody's going to be talking about Sharon for at least a year because this is still fresh in a lot of people's minds. But once we kind of just move on from all of this, kind of like what the NFL wants to do with James Pierce and a lot of these other guys, it'll just take care of itself. And nobody will really be looking back and remembering Sharon Moore as the man he was until someone brings up his name. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's the former Michigan coach who broke into his ex-girlfriend's house when he told her to leave him alone or leave her alone. I apologize. So I'm just happy to see that all of this is getting fixed, or at least is getting or taken care of in a mild manner. And Sharon doesn't have to see some serious things for, again, a breakup gone wrong, which we've heard a couple times this offseason. It's really weird, but that's just the football story this year. What's your thoughts on this one before we hit a break?
Just make it stop. That's all I could say. I'm glad it's starting to wrap up, but I'm sure we'll hear about it for another year or so. And, I personally don't think he'll get another job, but I mean, I wish him the best.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some assistant coaches and coordinators getting paid. I just saw the Ohio State defensive coordinator is now the highest paid assistant coach in college football. I mean, there's always going to be some positives. Hopefully we can get through this and just move the hell on.
That's what I'm thinking as well. But again, Sharon himself, I hope, can find another job because I hate to see somebody lose their entire life over just a crazy situation like this. Although, again, doesn't absolve him from being an absolute POS in this situation. Having a wife, multiple kids, and you're still cheating on her with your assistant who you hired and gave a promotion to where she was. And this has been going on for a while now. I can't exactly say how long, but at least over a year, if not 2, if not more. So he's still a POS in that regard. But in terms of losing your job over this and all of that, I feel for you a little bit there, big guy. I just don't. I agree with you. I don't think he gets a head coaching job just because nobody's going to be wanting to deal with that kind of press, or at least not yet.
Just kept it in your pants, you've been fine.
I'm just saying. But again, this is the weird thing about men in power is that they find that and they just cling to it. And I don't know. Again, it's an ugly situation, much like the James Pierce situation where the man got broken up with. He freaked out and did something absolutely crazy. I hope and pray for his sake he gets some counseling and we don't have to hear about this type of thing anymore. And maybe 4, 5, 6 years down the line, some college decides to give him a shot as the head coach again. And we're talking about this more as a comeback story for Sharon more than what it is at the moment. But I'm with you. I'm just happy to see this whole thing is kind of coming to a head. He's not going to have to face serious jail time for this because, again, threatening someone with a knife in their own home. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot of people that get to walk away from that. So him getting a plea deal like this and pretty much just getting it brought down to misdemeanor charges of, malicious use of a telecommunication device and trespassing. I think that's a gift to someone like Sharon Moore right now. So hopefully he gets the help he needs and we all just move on from this story. Again, Michigan fans are going to be hearing this at least for another year. But once that's up, everybody will hopefully just let it float into the ether. We never have to
Hopefully we
talk
get
about
some
this
more
again.
time because I'm glad you pulled that Rhonda clip because I wanted to hear your response to that.
Yes, let's take a break real quick. We'll get to Ronda Rousey on the other side, taking some shots at the UFC during their press conference, press tour, whatever you want to call it, for her upcoming fight with MVP and Gina. And on the other side as well, the other Paul brother still finding himself in the crosshairs of every NFL player and former NFL player. But Gronk has come out and had comments for Logan Paul. And he's pretty much saying, if Logan wants the fight, we can take care of it at that flag football game on the 21st. So we'll play that for you as well before our guy Anthony Jauregui gets in here. And then Bolt Brady at 8:30 will give you his thoughts right before Selection Sunday and March Madness kicks off. This is the early bird special. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hard to talk over Chester. God, I miss Chester Bennington so freaking much. I need new music from him. Just hits the soul, man. It does. This is the early bird special. We only got a couple minutes before we have to hit our break, and then our guy Anthony Jauregui will be on the other side, talk all things comedy at the moment in the world of the well, what they got going on this weekend. Plus, our guy Bolt Brady from Bolt Brady and his bro at the Believe Network will be rejoining us at 8:30 ahead of Selection Sunday. Syracuse fired their coach yesterday. Arizona State told Hurley that they would not be bringing him back as well. So we'll get his thoughts on that.
But Penny Hardaway keeps his.
Again,
I don't understand.
It's got to be because he's a basketball legend. Let's all be honest.
Because they don't want to pay the millions of dollars.
That's true too. But look, man, that's basketball at this point. Everybody is looking to make the right moves and find the right coach. And unless you have your own Dan Hurley, not the Hurley we're talking about, but a Dan Hurley, it's kind of hard to keep anybody for a long period of time. We don't have a lot of time, though, so I want to get to this audio bite real quick. Ronda Rousey was doing her press tour, their weigh-ins and all that, but for her match against Gina. And at first, bringing up the UFC, just pretty much said it's not the same without Dana at the position he was at. If you didn't know, Dana isn't really the top of the UFC anymore since the TKO merger. Dana now has bosses. So the bosses tell Dana how they want it to be done. And everybody really has been talking about this White House fight card. And Ronda had some interesting words to say about this and pretty much just the state of how these fighters are paid and the state of the UFC in general. So let's hear from Ronda real quick.
It's just not about putting on the best fights possible anymore. Dana isn't the owner, and he isn't calling the shots, and he isn't running things the way that he wants because he's an employee of the company. It was a big mistake of theirs to not let him just run things the way that he always has.
So that's the political answer for you. You ready for the sulfur? Hit number 2.
Oh, he knows the White House card sucks. Like he knows that they were pushing this for over a year, and it fell extremely short of expectations. I mean, he was so upset about it. He was talking about a fight falling out the day before. It's I can guarantee you he's not happy with it either. It used to be that UFC was the best place that you could come in combat sports to make a living and be paid fairly, and now it's no longer. It's one of the worst places to go. It's why so many of their top athletes are leaving to go and find pay elsewhere. It's why their champions like Valentina are selling pictures of their titties on OnlyFans. These people are, a lot of them at the ground level, they can't support their families. They're living poverty level, fighting full time. This company just got $7.7 billion. There's no reason that they can't afford to pay their athletes at least a living wage.
So she's not necessarily wrong, but I want to read off some things to you guys and let you decide if they get paid enough. Entry-level UFC fighters, ergo your prelim fighters, your debut fighters, get $12,000 to show up, plus $12,000 if they win. Mid-tier and veterans get anywhere between $40,000 to $80,000 show money, and as much as about $50,000 to $150,000 per fight. Top 5 champions get anywhere between $750,000 to $2.4 million per fight, with superstars that exceed this, or with around $2.6 million and up when it comes to the big names. And that's just recently at UFC 326. So this is stuff from this year. And bonuses, mind you, $50,000 for fight of the night and performance of the night, which are 2 separate awards. So realistically speaking, if you are a UFC fighter, you have maybe 2 to 3 fights a year, and at worst, you're getting paid $12,000 for that fight. I don't know a lot of people that would look at $12,000 for a single fight and say that that's not a living wage. But if you have to stretch that, depending on what you're spending,
and
that's exactly what I was going to get to, is the expenses part of it. Fighters often pay 10 to 20% in manager fees, plus coaching, gym costs, et cetera, et cetera. And on top of this, the UFC doesn't pay for their travel. So for people who sit there and heard the initial sound of what I said of $12,000, well, that's plenty of money. They should easily be able to do that. Hold on now. Ronda's got some legs here because the UFC doesn't exactly help you get to the fight, doesn't exactly help you pay for your manager, your coaches. So what would you say, Spark? About $6,000 of that 12 grand is probably gone before you can even spend it.
At least.
That's pretty rough to me. That means you're maybe getting 18K a whole year.
And this is supposed to be the show.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll get into that and much, much more on the other side. Anthony Jauregui from the Wells coming up next. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. And if you're looking to catch some of the major conferences championships this weekend, you can hear it right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Starting on Friday, we got the Big East semifinals. There's a doubleheader starting at 3 o'clock. Saturday, you'll have the SEC semifinals and the Big East Conference Championship starting at 3:15. And then Sunday, you got the SEC Championship at 9:45, the American Conference Championship at noon, and of course, Selection Sunday at 3 o'clock. We'll talk to our guy Bolt Brady about that here in about 30 minutes. But before that, our friends at the Well are here. Anthony Jauregui, although he was on Dan Bett's time, it looked like he dang near got in here.
I was literally on the freeway thinking, I am not going to be late like Dan. I am not going to be walking in there saying, oh man, I didn't brush my teeth. My alarm went off at 7:41. There was a kid standing next to my bed. No, none of that, guys. I am here simply because.
You remember that? That's what Dan said last week.
That's usually what he says.
Theo's back.
Theo's
from
Spencer.
Vegas. How was Vegas?
It was good. Chico's Bonitas was nice.
Serio?
Said hi to my tia out there. She was doing a little extra double shift. That was good, dude. Vegas is nice. As you guys know, gambling is expensive.
Yes, it is.
That's why I don't do it. So
Smart man.
Yeah. So I stayed away from this trip and I just went hiking and watched my sister's dog while she was out doing real hood rat stuff. So
True.
yeah.
True.
Just to be
So you
Good
were
man.
you were
Good
just
man.
there to be the babysitter, I take it?
babysitter, house sitter. She has a golden retriever that's needy, so I was doing all that stuff, wiping
Yeah.
butts, cleaning poop, off the ground. Barbecuing, yes sir. That was my other brother-in-law, making some good old chicken, and I think there were some potatoes in there. It was good. It was good. Barbecue's good, especially in Vegas when a white man is doing it for you. That is not something I make. Usually when Mexicans barbecue, they make carne asada and it is burnt, well done, bistec. It is fried, dude. But when a white man cooks a steak for you, he knows what he's doing. He has a thermometer. He's giving.
That's
He's
funny.
giving.
You
right
bring that up.
temperature.
I was having a conversation with our buddy Romeo down the hall, and he was
Yeah.
telling me about his Traeger and
Yeah.
how he doesn't have to do anything, and his phone tells him when to
Yes.
flip it and do this and that. And we actually were talking to Steve Murray from Murray Family Farms the other day, and he was telling me that farming has turned that same thing with robots. That he used to water, it's cherry season is right around the corner. He was
Yep.
telling me he put close to $50,000 worth of cherries into the ground, and he said usually I would water for 8 hours here and 8 hours on the other days, and he said now with AI his phone tells him, okay, when's the best time to water, and he waters 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and it's all from his phone.
We have AI
But it-
telling you when the best time to water is now.
Yep, same as barbecue.
Wow.
Hey, but is
Dang.
ChatGPT going out there and watering it, or is it still
Just
some
press
guy
it.
named Juan?
Nah.
No,
No, you press a button and then a big old sprinkler system starts doing it.
no
for
way.
you.
It's a sprinkler system.
Oh yeah, no, that I've seen. That I know is how they do that, but I didn't know that he was using AI now to kind of figure out the proper times. That's pretty interesting.
That's insane. I gotta
Expect
teach.
some big cherries this year.
Oh, big old cherries. I got some of those. All right, let's
I
pop 'em.
love
sure you
cherries,
did.
yo. That is one of the most slept on fruits, in my opinion.
That's a good point. You don't hear people talk about chocolate dipped cherries as they used to.
Oh.
Remember those cherry?
Oh, the
hand
big
things?
cherries?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God, I don't even know where you can buy those anymore. I haven't
Dude.
seen those in forever.
My mom's house in the '90s, dude. for
I know.
sure, yeah.
My dad always had a box in the
Yeah.
up in the cupboard, and I never
Yeah.
understood like why until I actually ate one. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
Those
why.
didn't last long. They all disappeared after that. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
100%. You realize like our parents were probably hiding the chocolate from themselves too, because they
Yes.
knew that if they had it out in the open, they'd kill it.
Oh yeah, 100%. But they also knew that we saw them eating the chocolate, that we'd be like, why don't I get any? Of
Yeah,
that?
come on.
You have to
want that.
share.
While you're gone, there was a huge wreck outside of the well.
Yeah,
Oh, I saw that.
we were
yeah.
gonna ask about that too, but
It was
obviously got cleaned up.
it was my cartel hitman. He was going for the building, but he missed.
Oh Lord. Well, that's what we said. It's like you guys were dangerously close to getting hit there, and that would have sucked with all the renovation that you guys had
Yeah.
just gone through and finished. Like I'd hate to see that, but
yeah, it would have sucked hearing you can't park there over and over and over again, like from video. You see,
you have
Right.
no idea
That's-
how annoying that is. Like,
it's a dude with one leg in a
Brother.
major traffic accident. Like, you can't park there. I'm dying.
no, you have no idea how much I relate to that. Because when I got into my wreck last year and
Oh,
my
no.
car was on its head, literally, and me and my buddy were sitting there on the curb because we just got T-boned and flipped. and all I hear and see is people with their cell phones driving by. You can't park there. As if you guys are funny the first time this is said.
He's on the phone with Geico, like, please.
It's like I need to figure out how I can actually get home and figure out the rest of my work week. But yeah, I can't park here. Thanks, guys. Didn't know that.
That is the funniest. I've never heard the perspective of someone else having a bad day.
No, dude,
just
it
hearing
is
people say
so
you
annoying.
can't park.
So annoying. We all know, okay? We all know.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's just
We got a busy weekend. Is open mic back tonight?
Excuse me. Yes, it's back tonight. The last week it was Jason Ellis, as you guys heard. Dan was talking about it, and then so open mic is back. It's good. Having those weeks off sometimes it feels a little weird, but it's kind of like a little relationship. You step out on your wife for a week, you come back to her, and you love her, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I don't know why we were like,
you find yourself unemployed.
Sharon Moore.
Well, I mean, did we get another Friday the 13th?
Yes. It's funny. This is the third. There's 3 Friday the 13th in this year. Typically, there's like 1 or 2.
There's
but
3 this year.
Yeah, there's 3. So
it's the second already, and we're in March.
Yeah, I think World War 3 Friday the 13th. I think it's just God telling us something.
Consider that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I thought we should capitalize it and make another showcase night. So,
which we have some tickets. Hit us up on Instagram if you're interested. But is it going to be the same kind of format where you get 13 comedians?
Yeah, so it's 13 comedians, all aside from me and Nathaniel, who are kind of like producing it. It's going to be all different comics. So it's like a bunch of comics from all different places, like from the LA area, from up north, from the coast. Some locals. It's a good mixed variety bag. So you may see someone you have seen it at open mic, but chances are you're going to be seeing a bunch of new faces. So if there's 13, there's probably going to be 6 or 7 that you haven't seen before. So,
and then are you guys doing the same competition as well? Then you do the open mic winner gets a spot.
So I will announce that now. If you're listening tonight, we will do set of the night. So whoever has a set of the night, best set gets the most laughs, most applause breaks, whatever, kills it tonight at the open mic. They'll get a spot on the show tomorrow.
Fantastic.
So a little.
Did I hear a Trevor one?
That's what I was just about to ask.
No. Trevor didn't win. Trevor didn't win this one. He won. A guy named Daniel Baltasar won the last one. But
gotcha.
Trevor, if he gives me a cigarette or 2, I might just make him a winner.
Might give him a couple extra.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, Trevor's my little cigarette train, dude. When I need to bum a cigarette off of him, I go to him, not the tattoo guys across the street. They're scary.
You guys got a smoke shop literally down the street.
It's going to be busy. I talked to a couple of my tattoo artist buddies, and they are going to be packed on Friday. People are already lining up, and I mean, personally, I have tattoos. I'm not getting tattoos on Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
I don't want no $13 tattoo. If I was gonna do that, I would just do my own tattoos by myself.
100%. Or you go to jail and have some guy named Spooky do it for you.
Noodles.
I think noodles. Yeah,
I was gonna say Bubbles, but yeah, that works too.
I feel like the people that get tattoos on Friday the 13th are like the people that go to the gym in January. It's just like they go to this, like, you don't want to be in that room with those people there for that one time they're going to be there. Like,
you just get flash art. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with the moon that's crying or something.
That the guy, the 4 people ahead of you already got.
Yeah, so. It's like, oh, great, some originality here.
I mean, I got mad respect for these tattoo artists, and I mean, if that is a busy day and they can make some money off of it, I totally understand.
Oh, yeah. Hey, dude, the well how to do hunks, so I get it. We got to do stuff for money.
Which I was just going to ask.
Just the other day, too.
It was on Tuesday.
So you guys have had adult
Did you have those guys come in and do the interview?
No, we
Although, honestly, that might be interesting.
It would have smelled like Axe body spray in here for a week. And oil in here.
Oh yeah, we'd hear nothing but it from Greg Kerr. He's like, "What the hell is happening in the studio?"
Lord.
But no, you've had adult bingo. You've had hunks. Like, is this turning into like a couple days a week?
It is.
Variety bar, baby.
And we got a burlesque show after the Friday the 13th this week, and
the drag show. Yes.
Oh, and the drag show. I forgot.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a variety bar now. This is
the
not
well
a comedy.
Brought to you by Deja Vu.
Yeah, if you want live entertainment and male body parts in your face for drag night too, come out to the.
It's just like, what direction are you guys going with
this? The direction of money, dude.
You found the cash. So
I thought this is supposed to be a fancy comedy club.
Yeah, it's the fancy, all right. Yeah,
You can do drag night the night after Nurse's Night Out with G.
Yes.
Williams.
Dude, everyone's taking a night off. Everyone's taking a night out. You know what doesn't rest? Gonorrhea. So be careful, guys. It'll follow you. I don't know what's happening after these shows, but careful.
I can't. I'm gonna have to sneak into Greg's Nurse's Night Out show because I really want to see how this.
Dude, I walked in one time and they were giving CPR to a woman naked. It was great. Dude.
I wouldn't
See,
doubt
that's
it
a
at the
adult
Williams
bingo
days.
right there.
No, it was,
That is not on my bingo card, but that is
yeah,
something I would expect to
D4,
see.
baby. Or D isn't in bingo, but
No.
D.
G4 is what you're looking for there. Let's shift to something else real quick because I wanted to get your thoughts on
Let's
this.
hear
I've been
it.
sitting on this all day. So I'm assuming you've been seeing this whole Logan Paul against the NFL thing. It's
Yeah,
been going around the last couple weeks.
Tom Brady first was like, yeah, those are some real athletes, and you're cute. Like, and then the wrestling people were even saying something, and now
Yes.
it's trickling to okay, I got
Well,
you.
there's even a video that goes as far as Tom Brady calling Logan a B word. I can't say the word because we're on
Yeah,
the radio,
yeah.
but this is the next step of it is Gronk has gotten thrown in the middle of this because
Okay.
for some reason Logan has thrown Gronkowski's name out there specifically saying he could beat up Gronkowski. This was the latest update from Gronk when he was asked about this on a sports show. I believe it was on Bleacher Report or something of that nature. Or I'm sorry, Barstool, I mean. And I just wanted to play this for both of you and hear what he had to say real quick.
But if Logan Paul wants a piece of me, we're both playing in the flag football game on March 21st in LA. And I can tell you this, okay?
Yeah.
The last time, players talk trash to me on a football field, I threw someone out of the club. I broke necks. I laid out defensive ends. I pummeled safeties. No one can tackle me. So if Logan Paul wants a piece of me, I'm down to throw it down on the field and even throw my fist and just go at it, all out brawl on the flag football field. I don't care it's flag football and it's a family event. I will fight him on the field if he wants to fight me right there and then in the flag football game.
You want to
I
fight
got
him? You want a
absolutely
piece
no
of Logan
problem.
Paul?
No problem. If he wants to talk garbage, if he wants some of this, I'll see him on the field because I can tell you this. I know he's not on my team either. So if he wants to throw hands, hey, I'm down for it.
We brought this up about a week ago, Spark, but we had a feeling that all these NFL players would put a massive target on the back of on the back of Logan. Do you think he makes it out of this game alive? I don't think he does anymore. I think every NFL player is going to crush this dude.
I think like everything that we've seen with these Logan Paul, Jake Paul fights. Who's the one that's been fighting? Is it Logan or Jake? Is it both of them?
Logan is the one that's in the WWE right now. Jake is the one that's a professional boxer.
Okay.
Logan has boxed though.
Okay, so it's Jake is the boxing one.
Yes.
So I got to make sure I get
Jake
this
is
right.
Jake is the good boxer. Let's go with that.
Okay, but Logan has fought before.
Technically, yes, but he's not very good at it. Like
Okay.
he's just
Because this is why I asked, because I guess it kind of changes my answer a little bit. Will he die? I don't know, because I said this about Floyd Mayweather going against, but it was Jake, right? Jake. It was,
actually no, that one was Logan.
Okay, so it's like dude, you're gonna say Floyd is gonna go in there and kill him, but you know who's gonna win everything? A $90 million check. So it's like,
everybody,
it's like whether Logan leaves dead or not, I don't even think that's the issue. I think this is all just another
how much
stir up.
money they're gonna make?
Stir up to get people watching the flag football thing. Because before this conversation, I didn't give a crap about the flag
That's a
football
good
thing.
point.
And now, because you say they're gonna fight, hey, I might tune in. I might get NFL Network and watch it that day.
Same here.
You know?
Gronk is such a horrible actor. And in the first video when Brady was talking garbage, Gronk was the one that stood up for him.
Yeah.
And now to see him flip around and now play the aggressor, I just think they're taking a page out of the WWE.
Exactly. They're literally just moving the WWE into like the
promo.
real world. Exactly. It's like a promo, and now we're cutting it, and now we're talking about it. So it's like
I agree with you that the flipping kind of did confuse me at first until I saw the video of Logan talking smack about Gronk and saying, like, I can't remember what the context was, but he was pretty much bringing up that, like, when there was a moment where there's a whole bunch of fake Gronkowskis and a real Gronkowski, Gronk was the only one that didn't step up to try to do something to Logan. So that's why he feels Gronk is a baby or whatever. But this entire thing is just, I agree, has gotten to a point that's kind of ridiculous, but maybe it is. Maybe it's all just really good promo for this flag football game that's supposed to take place in a week.
It has to be, man. And like I just don't see any other way, any other thing as opposed to it being just some promo tactic, and that's why it's just like I don't want to buy into the slop that it's just them making stuff up just
Bro,
to
you gonna
get us
watch
to
it?
watch.
Are you gonna watch flag football?
I will watch the highlights on YouTube Premium. I'll skip the ads.
Oh, that's messed up.
I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the flag football, but I'm sure I'll hear about it.
100%. I will be talking about it on Thursday when I come in,
Right.
hopefully.
The minute Logan gets trucked without one of his flags getting pulled, that's going to go straight on the internet. And you're going to see it all week.
It's going to be cut up on NFL memes.
Yup.
Ghetto Gronk, especially. You guys on that page.
Le'Veon is still swinging at it. He's like, I want in.
Oh yeah, I saw Le'Veon. He had like there was a video, a picture of his shirt off or something. He was like flexing. I was like,
You
all
don't
right,
wanna know
But
it is.
he's in the boxing game too now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did he fight someone or wasn't he like?
Yeah, he's growing. I don't know if he's actually gone professional with it, but I know he has dabbled in boxing.
And I would just hate to see it. I mean, I know it's whether it's all fake or real or not. I don't want to see a world-class athlete, an NFL player, go and get their ass kicked in just because they think they can lift weights and juke people. That translates to good fighting. You know, it's like
you're not wrong.
me being able to talk crap does not mean I can back it up in a fight. So it's
fair.
It totally reminded me of, Rhea and Jade, their promo.
Right.
How Rhea's like, I work out to kick ass and take names. Jade, you work out to look pretty and look at, a bodybuilder.
Right.
And it almost feels the same way. I mean, they're pumping up the hell out of this flag football. And of course, it's Brady's league. He's setting it up with Saudi Arabia. Now that it's moved down into LA, it's, they got to sell some tickets. I think they're doing it the right way because people were talking about it. That's for sure. And that's what sells tickets.
Well, and again, I just thought about this, but I do think we have to take into consideration that this is all run by Fanatics, which is huge in the WWE. They have their hand in everything.
There you go.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that they looked at Logan and Tom and said, let's jazz this up. Because this all really
100%.
did start with Tom calling wrestling cute.
Mhm.
And then obviously the wrestlers, the week of their promo, like you said, we're all talking smack about Tom. And now football players are talking smack about WWE superstars.
It just so happens it happens a week or two before WrestleMania.
Right.
And
so maybe you're right.
Look, I didn't even think of that. See,
Yeah, it could all just be one giant move by Fanatics to just sit there and stir the pot and get people at their events.
and even that you guys know as journalists, you can control the narrative by simply asking these people questions and guiding them to like a certain specific viewpoint.
That
You're
happens
like, hey, you hear
far
about how
too
they
often.
say this about you, and you're like, hey, what? Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, there's a whole narrative created, and then it's just like all manufactured by the press. So yeah, I could totally see being pro.
Oh, 100%. And you're right. I mean, that happens far too often, especially with athletes, when somebody brings up a story that they weren't even aware of and they're trying to get an answer out of them. Luckily, some of the players have gotten smart and just said, yeah, F off. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one giant power play by Fanatics. But I do think, like I said a couple weeks ago, there is a sense of ignorance in it as well. Like, I do believe Tom Brady doesn't have that kind of respect for wrestlers, because if he did, we'd probably have more wrestlers in this game, in this flag football game, other than just Logan Paul. But at the same time, it's just driving people to want to watch this, or at least want to watch it just solely to watch Logan Paul get his butt kicked by somebody.
So it's just other wrestling.
No,
wrestlers?
it's so from what I understand is it's a team of former NFL football players against what they're calling Team USA, which is a whole bunch of Fanatics based athletes and people coming into play on the team as well. And that's why Gronk knows that he's not on the same team as Logan, because I believe, and again, this is from what I understand. I don't know if I'm right on this, but I'm assuming this is all just going to be like former NFL players that they convinced to come play against a whole slew of like influencers, athletes, and all that type of stuff.
People that are like bodybuilder cute and
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it not going to be the greatest football game, I would assume, but
It'll
who
be
knows?
entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's something on television that people are going to pay attention to. It was originally supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia, but now it's being shifted to LA. I'm not sure exactly the location, though. I know I read
believe it said BMO.
BMO. It's absolutely right. I think you're right.
And I'm looking at the rosters. I mean, Logan Paul, of course, I show Speed, Bolt, Crawford, but I mean a long list. I'm surprised the NFL is allowing some of these players play, because it's retired players against current players. I mean, we've got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Jinty, Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., Stephon Diggs, Rob
I was unaware there was
Gronkowski,
actual like
Debo,
active players. Wow.
yeah, Myles Garrett. There's going to be a lot of NFL players,
And they're all going to be on the opposite team of Tom Brady, or with
I believe
Tom
they're
Brady?
doing a draft type thing.
Oh, you know
where
what?
they're
You're
doing
right.
picks.
They are doing pick'ems. You're absolutely right. That's supposed to take place next week.
So
we don't even know who's on. I'm dumb. We don't even know who's on which roster.
Yeah, and I know Sean Payton, and originally it was going to be Pete Carroll, but he dipped out, and I think there's a different coach coming in. But yeah, there's going to be I believe there's anywhere from 6 or 7, 8.
Do we really even need the coaches, though? Let's
Right.
be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
of
this
course.
isn't like we're starting a flag football league here.
they
I
need the
wouldn't put it
coaches to
past
go
it.
on the football and draw with their hands exactly
Right.
what they're going to do.
It's like when you put a coach in the All-Star
Statue of
game.
Liberty.
I'm like, why do we need a coach in the All-Star game? He's not going to be coaching or calling plays for anybody.
sit there and look pretty,
Yeah,
Tell 'em
exactly.
to hit the flea flicker.
It just say, hey, this is the coach of the year for the Eastern Conference.
One
Good for
alligator,
him.
2 alligators, 3
Yeah.
alligators.
Hey, that was 3 Mississippis, not 5.
Well, okay, at least there's actual like full NFL athletes that are going to be taking place in this game as well. That actually makes me want to watch it.
I'd hate to see someone get injured over a flag
Exactly.
football
Yeah,
team.
no, that's the thing.
Exactly what I was just going to say. I'm like, really, the NFL usually steps in on these types of things and doesn't allow, especially since a lot of those players didn't play in the Pro Bowl flag football team.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's
All of a
okay
sudden
to
it's
play fake
Brady's.
football.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's a good point. You guys won't play for the Pro Bowl, but you play for Tom Brady and Fanatics. That's a
Yeah,
little
but
weird.
maybe like this is a little more special because even in the Pro Bowl, Justin Fields was like a Pro Bowl QB. It's like that is truly a mockery. It's
Well-
like it's not like the best of the best. It's like alternates of alternates
But
of
see-
third alternates to go perform.
I think we say that just because we saw the roster the way it was, but we got to remember that all of the athletes that didn't play were offered. So like your Trevor Lawrences and all that who didn't get a spot on the team, quote
Yeah.
unquote, most likely were asked to be on the team and told them, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and why do we want to watch alternates of alternates of alternates? Like
True.
they should just not even. They should even force them or like.
Are
have
they
some,
getting ready for the Olympics?
That is a possibility because I know a lot of these athletes really want to do the Olympics.
I would hate to see America lose the Olympic
if we
football. Like,
lose. I mean, we were about to lose the World Baseball Classic. If we lose in football, oh
the world-
my God.
The U.S. will lose their mind
Yeah.
if we lose again.
that would be pretty
Who's
bad.
the most like which country is most likely to beat us though? I would think like
I don't want to get
Australia.
racist here, but
Oh wow, really? We're gonna go that far?
I didn't
Come
say
on,
a continent,
man.
bro. I said it. Mexico for sure.
Okay. Well,
Mexico.
I'm telling you, Mexico almost knocked us out yesterday, and I was not very happy.
I thought we
about
lost
that.
to Italy or something.
We did. We lost
Okay.
it. That was the issue. Was Italy beat us in the 4th game, and then Mark DeRosa thought, or before the game, Mark DeRosa thought we had already punched our ticket and gotten to the next level, but apparently we didn't. And what it was if Mexico had won and scored less than 4 runs yesterday, they would have been in with Italy. But it's a weird system they have too, because it's not based on wins, it's more based on like runs per defensive inning, I think is what they
That is
call it.
weird.
They had to score, I think, 5. If they lost, they'd
Yes.
have to score 5 or something. It was stupid.
I think
Yeah,
instead of like wars and stuff, we should just challenge other countries
To
to
sports.
to
To
sports.
sports.
I know, like not like the Olympics, but really, truly, like we have America and
Oh
Iran
my
in
God.
one stadium, and we do the best of the best. We'll start with handball, make it easy. And then we can go to badminton, and then we go to
Pickleball.
contact.
The
Pickle- there we
thought
go.
of a city like a city being taken over by a different country based on the outcome of a baseball game is wild. Though.
I don't know. I feel like we'd try harder. I think
Well,
we would. Hey, you think if the
the
Pro
athletes
Bowl,
would
if
be
the
worth the
stakes,
money you pay them too.
if the stakes in the Pro Bowl were we get to keep this country, you think Trevor Lawrence would sit out, or you'd want to play? I think we wouldn't want Justin Fields being our quarterback in the country against country football
Fair.
team to control the other country.
But to
I
be
think-
fair, if it came down to that this year, we wouldn't have had the quarterback we all wanted because Patrick was hurt.
Oh, okay.
I
Is
wouldn't
it-
know any other quarterback besides Patrick Mahomes.
really.
Tom
Oh
Brady.
yeah,
What
heck
about
yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Nah. I'm a USC fan. I'll say
I'd
it.
bring
You give
Tom
me
Brady
a
out.
whole list.
Well, with the last few minutes, I mean, it's been a busy week with the NFL season and off season, whatever you want to call it, starting. The Maxx Crosby thing has really taken over the headlines. But what's your thoughts on the Maxx Crosby deal, and how you looking at those Packers right now?
Okay, so first off, I think the Maxx Crosby thing, I don't know, the more and more I look at it, the more and more it does sound like, because I saw like you were talking about it earlier, and my under the assumption was like, yeah, it was a failed physical, but then they signed Trey Hendrickson right after that,
Right.
and they keep their firsts, and it's the same money or like around the same. I'm like, dude, it just sounds like it. And then I saw like one of these like Bleacher Reporter NFL meme pages or whatever. It was just like they managed to do this to screw the cap salary for like all the other teams, and I don't know. There's a lot of conjecture of whether or not it's fake or not. But the fact of the matter is, getting released by someone and then having to come back with your bags packed and be like, "Hey, I'm back, guys." I feel like that's the most awkward thing ever.
Right? Have to do a video saying goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm
video
back.
saying goodbye. And then like you've already been posting your Instagram, you're in the other city and stuff. I guess those are little things, but I don't know. It does sound like it's kind of like I don't think their plan was to have Trey and Max. There's just no way they could have afforded that, right? I feel like it's like $100 million for those two players.
On top of paying Lamar and Derrick Henry.
And Derrick
I'm
Henry,
like,
right?
how
Like
They would have found a
how
way.
they find a
though.
way? They always find a way. Bonus this, bonus that. It doesn't count for the salary
Changing
cap.
someone's contract. I mean,
And
the Carr brothers brought it up the other day. The salary cap itself is really not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that too, and it's just like it doesn't feel like it because you
No.
see that they give someone like $80 million guarantee. I'm like, how'd you do that? They're like, well,
Well-
because we guarantee it, and then we have to, and it's like,
Yeah, they
Think about it,
spread
dude.
it out.
The cap salary itself, it's at 300 million now. $300 million
plus.
is the cap salary for this year. It was at 200 million and just barely got to 200 million 4 years ago.
yeah.
It
I
took
remember
them
during
4
COVID, it was like
years.
reduced a bunch, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
during 4 years, it took them 4 years to go $100 million. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't care about how much money they have to spend for each of these.
And
players.
there's still teams playing Alec Pierce $120 million. There's
The
That
most
was insane.
overpaid
That was
contract of
insane.
this offseason.
for a white guy. Come on, dude. You
That
can't-
was insane.
The most overpaid player. And honestly, that's talking about the team that overpaid Daniel Jones too.
Yes, dude. What is
And-
up with? I think it's listen. We all know what happens when we let our wives buy groceries and go to Target. Well, Carly, Jim, or say whatever has the credit card. She's like, I don't care, pay it. Like,
Get that extra. Get
I-
that and get that sourdough bread
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I
No,
was just-
no, babe, we don't have that. She's like, no, come on, it's sourdough, it's avocado, like it's Daniel Jones, it's Alec Pierce. You're good. I don't know, Carly. I don't know if we could do this.
Well, that's where
No,
I was
we're
happy
good.
because, the Malik Willis, everybody was like, oh,
Oh,
he's looking at 35, 40, 45 million dollars. And I'm like, really?
it was a conservative amount. I
And
think
then
he got-
Miami got him for 20 plus. And I'm like, okay.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to be that cheap, but I mean, the guy's been traded around. My question is, I didn't get to see a lot of Malik Willis. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone has.
Yeah.
Considering, I think he's got 3 or 4 starts last year and then maybe a couple the year before. The Titans got rid of him quick. I mean,
You got a good one, dude.
I hope so.
I'm like, because every game that he started, he like killed it. Like the ones that he lost, he was still killing it. It was like the defense lost it for him. It was just like, and I think I like the story of it's like the Sam Darnold thing. A guy that's been kicked around, released, had to do backup, and has now made his way to starting. That is some maturity that you can't get in a textbook. That's some maturity you can't get just by praying or reading. Like, I don't know, this is something that happened and matriculated, and it was that clip of like he was like being interviewed leaving Tennessee. He's like, you just got to be ready for your moment, and now he's here, dude.
yep. And
That
I
is like-
heard him on McAfee, and he was saying the same thing. He's
Yeah.
like, he was asking him, you could have probably got more money, going to the Jets or going somewhere else. And he said, this is the first time in my career that I'll actually stay in the same type of system. I know the system, and 20 million is $20 million.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to look at it as I'm going to use this to excel and
Mhm.
hopefully get paid again. But I mean, everyone is tanking. Oh, it's Miami. Why do they pay a quarterback 20 million? Blah, 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 blah. And they just cleared up space and, letting go of the older vets, whether it was Chubb, which sucked to see in Buffalo,
Yeah,
but
AFC East.
you got to do what you got to do to clear up some space. And I totally understand. I just hope that this kid can put it together.
I hope so too, and we'll find out. And I think you guys are lucky in that you got John Eric Sullivan, and Jeff Hafley. That
twin.
If he was going to another random team, I'd be a little worried.
Right.
I'd be a little worried. Like I don't know how quick he's going to pick up a new offense, but now he's going to someone kind of parallel. He knows the people, has some familiarity. You guys got another safety from the Packers, Zane Anderson. So you got more people coming from the Packers. I know that's a defensive player, but either way,
yeah,
the familiarity of Green Bay Packers South and Malik Willis, I think that is going to be good for you guys.
That's the thing, and I appreciate what you brought up too, because I also see the similarities between him and Sam Darnold, but Malik was actually worse in my opinion because he never even got a shot.
Nope.
Sam at least was a starter for a couple years with the Jets. Malik maybe got 1 year in Tennessee, and then they said, nope, this ain't gonna work. And I don't even think it was a full year.
No, he was like I forget who he was battling. Maybe
I think it was Tannehill at the time. Was it
yeah,
Tannehill?
I think it was. And then that's when Tannehill was like, "Why do I have to show him? I don't have to teach him anything." And then Malik's like, "I'm just here to pray and do my work." And it's like, dude, that sucks. Like, poor guy.
Again,
like
in the draft class he came in with too, he was one of the top prospects and then dropped all the way to the second round. Like I felt for the guy.
Yeah.
Really,
no, that's the kind of story you want someone to go sign a deal with. Not
you
someone...
want a guy that has a drive right now. He wants to prove himself.
And there's no guarantee that after a good first year, Miami doesn't turn around and make this contract double what it is right now.
Yeah. And they have the out to get out in 2027. So
if
it goes south,
it's still kind of like a prove it deal.
Exactly.
It's like, let's see if you could do on a full-time scale what you did part-time in the last.
And maybe he likes that. Maybe that's the system he's talking about, and that's why he wants to go play for Hafley, because he knows that he's going to be held to a certain standard. And if he's not, then obviously it's
and Hafley went against him all the time in second team reps. I remember the Packers podcast was talking about this. That dude, it makes sense because Jeff Hafley had to go against Malik all the time,
so he knows how to get the most out of him.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it works out.
They're visiting with Debo today, so maybe he'll have Debo and Jalen Waddle to throw to. Who knows? But
that'd be the best option for you, because at this point, I don't know if Jalen himself is going to be able to carry the offense on his back, or at least the passing offense.
He's had to the last couple of years, so we'll see. But busy night. We got open mic tonight at the Well. Doors at 6.
Show at 7. And Friday the 13th show tomorrow at
same time.
Yes, doors at 6. Show at 7. We'll probably be getting out free tickets, early bird special. So
Saturday Nurses Night Out. Is that what it's called?
Nurses Night Out with Greg G. Williams on Saturday. If you don't have to be a nurse to come check it out, it's a good show, showcase type show. It's fun. And then Sunday we got the drag brunch. There's still a couple tickets left. It's almost sold out. So gonna be popping. Come check it out.
The flip phone drag brunch wicked sing along.
Flip phone wait, what?
Yeah, they're giving out free Razor Motorola's.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yep.
Dude, I actually might go just for that alone. I haven't seen a Motorola Razor since I was in high school.
The Blackberries at home, baby.
Get your tickets. thewellcomedyclub.com. Anthony,
thank you guys so much.
See you next week.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We got to take a break. Bolt Brady on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. A long time since we've heard that music. But it is time to talk to our guy, Bolt Brady from Bolt Brady's Grow at the Believe Network. Selection Sunday is this weekend. We got to get his thoughts on who's in, who's out, and of course, who's going to win this whole dang shebang so you can win some money on your bracket. Sir, good morning. Good to hear from you.
What's happening, guys?
Long time. Should we start in the world of basketball, or did you want to get the Players' Championship real quick?
We can start with basketball.
Okay, fantastic. So obviously Selection Sunday this weekend, we heard the news that Syracuse has walked away from their coach. Arizona State will be doing the same thing. I would assume that means Arizona State is seeing the writing on the wall. They will not be making the tournament this year. Who's your who's your last four out? And then who do you have making the tournament as the number one seeds?
Well, so here's the thing. Arizona State, I actually did a post yesterday on TikTok about it because that was just embarrassing from Bobby Hurley. They lose by 49 points. And I just think that his career, I mean, I don't want to knock the guy when he's down, but it was just horrible. Arizona State's got to be like one of the easiest places to recruit.
Right.
You know, and it was such a bad career that he had there that hopefully they can turn things around.
I agree. I could not understand how this program hasn't reached its height yet, especially with a coach like him. I thought for sure it was going to be able to turn stuff around or at least get to some sort of relevancy. But I mean, we're talking about a school that had James Harden on the team and no one even remembers that.
Yeah, right. And James actually, I think, kicked down a few bucks to him too.
Absolutely did.
Yeah, to try to help out. I mean, they had everything going for him and just could not get it to work. It's interesting that his brother is so successful and then he's not.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the joke I made this morning was, I mean, everybody wants a Hurley. It's just not Bobby. It's Danny.
And he was such a great player.
Right. And again, you would assume that the transition is easy, but we've seen it a couple times that maybe just basketball players sometimes aren't the best coaches. I mean, Sparky brought it up this morning. Penny Hardaway still has his job, although there's a lot of people that are wondering how that's even a thing.
Right.
So maybe Danny or Mr. Hurley is just the next in line of people saying, this isn't working out and we need to find a right person for the job.
Right. Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't always translate. That's for sure.
Right.
And Bobby got his chance. I mean, 11 years is a long time.
And they're not the only team that's really fallen on their face. I mean, I'm a USC fan, and I'll say it. USC fell flat on their face after starting 11-0, so they'll most likely also that's outside looking in. But who are your top seeds for this year?
For like the top teams that I think will do well in March Madness?
Yeah, well, number one seeds first, and then we'll get to that one.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Duke, Arizona. Those are the for sures, probably.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing as well.
I think when you look at the teams, like if you're just to take straight roster, right, and not factor in, hey, things can get a little squirrely with the 3-pointer and stuff. I think those two teams by far the best.
I agree. And then I keep hearing Florida might sneak up into that. Our basketball official on Mondays is a fan of Houston as well.
Yeah.
He believes that they might sneak in there.
Right. And actually it's funny because those are two. There's three teams that I'm looking at, guys, and Houston and Florida are two of the three. Houston just because they're tough defense and it's that's what he preaches, and defense travels just kind of like in golf when putting travels, right? Defense travels in these tournaments. And then, Florida, I mean, they're just super hot, 9-1. They won the SEC title. So I do like those two teams. And then the third team that I'm looking at here is UConn. And again, I think it's because of coaching. You always have to look at coaching, and then, the old saying is, but it's totally true, is you have to look for teams that have good guards. And the reason for that is because when it gets late into the game, you need ball security, you need guys that can make free throws, and you need guys that can create when the shot clock is going down.
Right. Absolutely. And you need a good core leader as well, as the point guard usually is that captain of the team and able to run everything. But with such teams like Duke and all that we've talked about already, having a young core and have for the last couple of years, do you think guys like Boozer are going to be able to at least propel the Blue Devils into maybe the Elite Eight?
I mean, he is definitely the best player in my opinion. I mean, he's averaging 23 points and 10 rebounds, and he can just take over a game. And when you go 17-1 in conference like Duke did, I mean, they've been playing extremely well. So I do think so. I think Duke will give it a deep run.
I agree, but the other one or the other schools I had to ask about are obviously the two main stories that we've heard for the past couple of weeks. We'll start with Miami of Ohio. Do you think this team makes a run at all, or is this going to be a first round bust, just as everybody's kind of expecting them to be?
So it's a great story. What's kind of neat about their team is their high scorer, it averages 14 points a game, and their seventh highest scorer averages 10 points a game. So they're very well balanced, but the problem with them is their strength of schedule is literally like in the lowest 10%. There's like 375 Division I schools for basketball. There's way more Division I schools in basketball than football, and their strength of schedule is like 348. I mean, that's how easy their schedule has been, like their opponents. So more than likely, they're going to go down early.
That's what I keep thinking as well. But the argument against them, I really don't understand. I get that they haven't played anybody, but this isn't like the NFL where teams get kind of put into your lap. They go out and try to convince these schools to play them, and nobody says yes. So how are they supposed to really be held down because of a strength of schedule when nobody in the major conferences will even give them a shot to play them?
That's a solid point, right? Because the major programs don't have anything to benefit,
right?
Right? All they have is something to lose, because if they win, everyone goes no biggie. If they lose, it looks terrible for them.
Right.
So you're right. They are in a tough spot there. I just think that, I don't want to take anything away from who you play. If you're undefeated, you're doing something right.
That's what I
just think in March Madness, there's just so many good teams.
Fair. Absolutely fair. And then the other story I wanted to talk to you about, Kansas and their star Peterson. Do you think Kansas has a chance to rally? I mean, there's been this whole discrepancy that Peterson can't stay on the court. Does he even want to play? I mean, I think Kansas is still in a pretty good spot. I know they're one of the best defensive schools in the country, but do you think that the Jayhawks are possibly going to make a push here?
Not really. Unfortunately, I just think that there's a little tension there, with him not playing. I think it's a huge red flag. I mean, this guy pulling himself out of games and missing games. There's no way if I was a GM, I would draft him. I mean, we never know what's going on right through the media, but it does seem like there's a little tension there, and I don't think that's ever a good thing going into March Madness.
See, I said the same thing. I was like, this has to hurt his draft stock, because if I'm an NBA team, and I realize this kid is talented and is supposed to be one of the top draft picks next year, but what's going to stop him if he's playing for the Wizards and they're 15-45, and he's like, well, we suck, I'm just going to pull myself out?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't even believe people would even think about taking him. I mean, I would definitely go the next guy down on the board.
Agree. So you don't think the Jayhawks have much of a chance then in March Madness here?
If they got to play in Allen Fieldhouse where they have their home games, they'd be super tough. But unfortunately, they don't get to do that. So I don't think they'll be coming into play here.
True. Fantastic. Okay, and then I know obviously Selection Sunday is this weekend, so we won't know exactly what the bracket looks like. But as it sits right now, who's your favorite to win the whole thing?
Well, like I said, I need to do a little bit more handicapping, but I'll give you my top three: UConn, Houston, and Florida. I think it's coming out of one of those three.
Okay, fantastic. We'll keep an eye on those three as well. And then before we let you go, Players Championship this weekend. Does Rory go back-to-back?
Oh, wow. Probably not. It's super hard to do that. I think as usual, you got to keep an eye on Scotty Scheffler. It's interesting because some of these guys come out firing, like, Tommy Fleetwood right now, like under. But as they always say, the tournament doesn't start until Saturday.
Yep, I agree 100%. And, Scheffler was one name that got brought up in our talks yesterday, not on this show, but on a different show that I work on. Do you think that Scheffler could potentially be seeing this Players Championship as a way to to get back into the winning ways? I know obviously last year he dominated golf, and from what I could tell, he's looking to do the same thing probably until he retires.
He's always sniffing the top of the leaderboard. It's crazy. And so, yeah, I do think he'll give it a hard push here.
Are you making any bets on this weekend?
So that's a great question. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. So what I do, and I think I've said this on the show before the tournament starts, it's trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? I never try to go with someone from the very beginning, pre-flop, as they say. I always wait until Thursday and Friday's over with, and then I start to pick who I think's going to win. And I usually like to pick a guy that's like 5 or 6 strokes behind going into Saturday, like a Scotty. If you see Scotty behind by 4 or 5 going into Saturday in this tournament, that's who I would take because he could make the push.
Fantastic. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care, guys.
Do we have a break, my friend, or should we just continue? Okay, we will continue then. Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And real quick, before we get to our final stories of the day, we do talk golf a little bit, as you just heard with our guy, Bolt Brady. I apologize. I'm reaching for something. And if you are a golf player, if you're just somebody who appreciates our veterans, you can come out and join us here at American General Media at the Honor Flight Open on March 23rd at the Bakersfield Country Club. The Honor Flight Open is a golf tournament that we put on here at American General Media that all proceeds go towards the Honor Flight Kern County here locally. This is a charity group that takes all of our local veterans and veterans from Fresno and around the area as well to Washington, D.C. to see their memorials that were built for them. Every memorial is something that a veteran should be able to see. It was made for them and honestly has every single name of all of their friends who most likely were lost in the war. So it's a very emotional trip. It's a very life-changing trip for a lot of these people. We really appreciate any kind of help that we can give to these people. And honestly, you should help us do that as well, because these are fantastic individuals who helped protect our country. So come help us out on March 23rd at the Honor Flight Open at Bakersfield Country Club. Or if you just want to donate, just go to honorflightopen.com. I know that teams are very, very scarce right now. We maybe have 1 or 2 left. So if you are interested in this, I would jump on it as soon as possible. That's at the honorflightopen.com. Sponsorships and donations are also accepted. So we will hopefully see some of you guys out there at BCC on March 23rd. I know I'll be out there. I think Sparky will be out there for a little bit. I don't know exactly how much. I know he's a very, very busy man. So,
and we got to, now that the weather is starting to change, it's that time of the year where the Bakersfield Racquet Club will be opening their doors next week for the men's 11th annual, I believe, Bakersfield Tennis Open. We'll have Mark Fredericks over from the Racquet Club joining us tomorrow. I believe the opening night is Monday. That's where they'll do the introduction.
Really?
And then games start Tuesday, and it is all free. There'll be a ton of vendors out there. I believe 5 or 6 food trucks. And so it's kicking off. I was looking at the weather, man. It's 97, 98 next week. I'm like, what?
It's going to get hot locally. I'm not excited about it whatsoever, but we're going to drop down a little bit the week after that. Thank God. It's just a little bit of a heat wave. I'm just hoping it stays away as long as humanly possible, because I'm a cold person. I don't do the hot. Like, I just can't. I'm the human heater 24/7.
Me too.
So I can't. I just can't do it. But yes, we'll be talking to the guys over at the Bakersfield Open tomorrow. I saw their banner actually outside of Firehouse last night. I went there for a drink or two with a friend of mine and saw it out there, and I said, "Hey, cool." I didn't even realize that they were already putting out advertisement for this. And that's actually when you had texted me and said they wanted to come on. So I was like, oh, perfect. Fantastic. I just saw their stuff. So out there, as well as you get to see some of the best and brightest athletes in the world of tennis go after one of their most coveted lead up tournaments as well, because they gain points for winning this tournament. So you will see a ton of professional tennis athletes come down here to Bakersfield and try to win some early points to get them into these major tournaments later on in the year. I wish I had more time. I would play this Cam Scadaboo bite, but I will save it for tomorrow. Cam was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday and talked about Jackson Dart and really the physical play that the two of them are known for. And for those of you who are Giant fans out there, you'll be happy to hear, or maybe happy to hear, that neither of them plan on slowing down whatsoever or changing up their play styles. They both plan to continue this incredible physical play that they are known for. I hope and pray that means, in a healthy route, because obviously when you play like that, you play a very dangerous game when it comes to injuries. But when it comes down to it, Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart in any backfield is going to be entertaining to watch no matter what. So I'm excited to see what the Giants have brewing next year. I really am.
And we
with
had a
the new
listener saying,
additions-
thanks for letting me know about the TED show, that he had no idea that there was a TV show about it. And
Really?
he binge watched both seasons and said it is hilarious.
So good. It's one of the best shows on Peacock right now. I want to say on television, but obviously it's a little bit different nowadays. But it really is. If you have not seen it, or if you're just a fan of Seth MacFarlane's comedy, you need to watch Ted, not just the movies, but the series as well. And I looked into that animated series you were talking about, Sparky. I'm excited about that too, because it seems like they're going to go into the college years, and that might get a little wild. Might get a little wild. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. We're going to get into entertainment on Monday as well. The Oscars are this weekend. So our guy Rick Bentley from KGET 17 has already told me he would love to join us and talk about all the things that you guys need to know in the world of entertainment.
And go see Hoppers.
Yes.
That movie was great, dude.
We'll talk about that tomorrow, because I wanted to talk to you about that. Was it as funny as they say?
I liked it.
Was it? Okay, good. I just
both animated movies I watched, that and Goat, were both good movies.
I'm just saying, when a movie usually says it's the funniest movie of its group, usually isn't. But I'm glad to hear that. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 to 9. Peace out.
BetMGM tonight.